Welcome to the Lean Out Your Business podcast, a show dedicated to helping entrepreneurs accelerate business growth and simplify success. I'm your host, Krista Grasso, and I've been working with businesses for more than 2 decades to help them lean out and optimize what's working while eliminating anything that's not adding value. So if you are ready to get more time back in your day, more profit in your business, and to do business differently, growing and scaling on your terms, let's dive into today's episode. Hello, and welcome to another episode of the Lean Out Your Business podcast. Today, we're going to be talking about setting your clients up for success in a changing market. So we've been talking a lot on recent episodes about what to do within your own business as the market's changing, as buying patterns are changing, as things are shifting in a way where people are making slower buying decisions and they're buying in different ways, they're buying different things, they're spending different amounts, right? So there's a lot that's going on, and I know most business owners are feeling it either directly or indirectly, either through their peers or maybe other people in their circle or their own clients are affected even if their own business isn't. So I don't think any of us can really escape the changes that are happening in the market, even if our own personal businesses are not affected. But I also know a whole lot of people's businesses who are. So what I want to talk about today is let's look at this through a different lens. And this is the lens of your client. And how, as we're looking at how to make pivots in our own business so that we can get clients to continue to see us, to continue to understand that our offers and our solutions are the right fit for them, and to continue to invest in working with us. The way that we're going to have a sustainable and successful business as we look to the future is to make sure that we're getting our clients incredible results. And as much as the buying patterns have shifted, also, the way that your clients are getting results has shifted too. And that's really what I want to dive into and explore in today's episode. So this is going to be especially relevant for you if you work with other businesses. If you don't, if you work with individuals instead, a lot of what I share in this episode is absolutely going to be valuable and help you. But the examples that I give and the things that I'm going to talk through are really going to be for those of you who work with business owners. So if you don't, just, try to extrapolate out how it will apply to your clients as well. And before I dive into how this looks different for your clients, I want to share a story and a little bit of an analogy here. So as someone who has worked with businesses of all different sizes for most of my career, I've worked with Fortune 50 companies, Fortune 10 companies, and I've worked with micro businesses, small business, medium-sized businesses, you name it, right? I've kind of run the gamut of the sizes of businesses that I work with. And one of the reasons why I love working with small businesses so much is the agility, the adaptability, the ability to go ahead and pivot so quickly and make things happen so quickly within the business. One of the things that I love about working with large scale business is the ability to influence change on such a large level. How something that we do for a company that has thousands of employees not only benefits the thousands of employees, but all of the thousands and sometimes millions of customers that business serves, right? It's very much the work that I feel like we do as coaches and consultants and service providers is very much force multiplication. The things that we do when we help our clients then ripple out and help all of the people that they work with as well. And I think that's so incredibly powerful. And so there's pros and cons to both, right? I love the large scale impact of influencing change and transformation within a large business. But I love the adaptability in the speed and the meaningfulness of doing it in a small business. And there's certain things that are generally true of a small business versus a big business that I'm seeing shift a little bit. And so if you think of a big business, I kind of think of it like a cruise ship. It's this big, massive, sometimes incredible thing. And if you want to change directions, it can be a little slow to move. It's so big and it's so massive that you can't make a decision and immediately be going in a different direction. You can start to make the turn, but it's going to take a little bit to fully shift directions. Now, I think of a small business as more like being in a speedboat, right? You want to shift directions and you're already there, right? It happens so quickly. You're able to move and change so rapidly. But what large businesses have that small businesses don't is a lot of resources. And by resources, I mean they frequently have the funds to invest in making changes, and they also have the people to allocate to making the changes. So they have the capacity for it, and they have the financial resources for it. Small businesses are frequently pretty bootstrapped. Even the most successful small businesses don't always have a whole lot of cash reserves on hand and an abundance of people just sitting around waiting for something to do. Usually people are pretty flat out, and there's not usually extra money just sitting around waiting to be spent in the business. And so the reason I'm sharing this story and how this equates to how your client experience is shifting is that small businesses are not quite as adaptable and as agile as they have been in the past, because I see so many businesses making less revenue, bringing less revenue into the business, so their budgets are even tighter. Their income that they can invest in change is tighter. And in a lot of cases, they either have downsized their team, or as people have left their team, they've not backfilled. So the rate of change is slower. What I'm seeing is things that clients used to implement and do rather quickly are now taking them a lot longer to do. I'm seeing a lot more falling on the shoulders of founders, founders who previously got themselves out of the day to day, or at least partially out of the day to day, are getting pulled back in. For those who act as more of the right hand to the founder, more and more is being placed on their shoulders. And a lot of times, things being placed on their shoulders are outside of their current skill set. Maybe they're more strong in marketing and they're being asked to do a lot of operations, or they're more strong in operations and they're being asked to do a lot of marketing, or sales or business development. Roles are getting stacked and stacked and stacked. And although in small business, people tend to wear a lot of hats, those hats are being multiplied right now. I just had someone text me the other day telling me that she's finally taking action on something that her and I worked on together a year ago. We had developed this incredible strategy and this incredible roadmap to scale out her business. And as successful as her business is, because of a lot of the changes in the market, she did not have the resources and the time to actually take action on what we put together. Whereas everything we'd done previously, she took action on really quickly. Now it's taken her almost a year to be able to take action on it. So these are things that you want to be thinking about when you're thinking about getting your clients results. If you sell courses, if you sell more DIY programs or group programs that have a lot of self-paced elements and maybe some Q&A support calls that go along with it, maybe you can get somebody to buy it, but will they actually take action? And we all know course completion rates are generally fairly low, but when you look at your market right now, are they positioned to be able to leverage what you're selling? Or are they realistically not going to get through it, which means they're not going to get the results, which means they're not going to take the next step with you and upsell into whatever you're hoping to lead them to next? If you do more strategy work, are the people that you're working with going to be able to implement on that strategy? If you do planning, if you do strategy, do they have the team, the space, and the resources to actually take action and see the results that you know is possible for them, but they may not be able to commit to doing right now? And if you provide services, are you positioning them in a way or delivering them in a way that gives those businesses what they need most right now, which is something done really well, and done without them having to be deeply involved in it? What most businesses need and want right now are results, and results without a lot of effort on their part. And granted, I know this is what businesses always want and what most people always want. I will absolutely speak for myself to say that is always what I want. But I'm seeing that more amplified now. And so as you think of your client experience, As you think of the way that you are delivering your offers and you are guiding your clients towards the results that they were looking for when they signed on to work with you or join your program or sign up for your services, think about how their day to day has changed. Think about how their financial situation has changed. Think about how their team situation has changed. Think about the impact of AI and how disruptive it is on a lot of businesses, right? I personally love it and embracing AI, as you know, doing a lot of work around AI, but for a lot of business owners, they're not fully there yet. They're not quite sure what to do about it. It's feeling really disruptive for them in a negative way, whereas I see it as disruptive in a positive way. So think about all of these things that are shifting for your clients, and then think about the way that you are delivering your products and your services. Are they taking that into account? Because if they're not, you're going to have a harder time retaining clients. You're going to have a harder time getting referrals, and you're going to have to work harder and harder to market and sell what you're doing. And speaking of marketing and selling what you're doing, when you think about how you want to be positioning what you do, you also want to be speaking to the new reality that your clients are likely living. If you're using the same marketing messages that you were using a year ago, it's probably time for a refresh and an upgrade so you can tap into what their life is really like. I have clients across the spectrum of super successful and thriving in this current market, and I have those who are really struggling in this current market, kind of both extremes and everyone in the middle. And regardless of where someone sits on that, there are clients that they have and there are people that they know who are impacted. So here's some things to think about. As people are in situations where their finances are tighter, they're more discerning with what they're spending their money on. A lot of times, businesses think about, well, how do I make what I'm selling compelling enough to get them to buy it? And that's great. That's the first step. And you definitely want to look at your marketing. You want to look at your positioning. You want to look at all of the things to make sure that it is compelling enough. It is speaking to their current reality so they can see what you offer as the solution to their problem. And so it makes sense for them to make that investment and move forward. But you can't stop there. If those finances were tight and it was a big deal for them to make the investment decision in the first place, the finances are going to be tight behind the scenes for them to be implementing on whatever it is that they invested in. It might mean they have less team to help them and support them. It might mean they have less time because they are doing more themselves or wearing multiple hats. Or maybe they're in a place where they're reinventing all of their marketing, trying to reposition what they offer. So do your clients a favor and really think through, how can you best support them? Are there things that you can change in your process, in your delivery, that will help them get better results with less effort and within their current constraints? And if you help people do anything related to making more money or saving more time or creating more mental capacity, how can you give them some kind of quick win so they immediately feel better, have more time, or have more money to be investing in taking action on what they're doing with you? I know I'll share a little bit about what I'm doing in Lean Up Method and Strategic Ops Institute. Is what I'm finding is so many people just want done for you support. They don't want to hire another person. They don't have a big budget. They understand that right now it is actually going to save them money to spend top dollar for someone who knows what they're doing and who they can trust to come in and get done exactly what they need done without having to go out and interview and hire and onboard and maybe, just maybe, get it right, maybe not, and have to do the whole process all over again. So I am getting so many requests for done for you services. I've not taken on private COO, what I call CSOO clients, in about a year and a half now because I've been fully at capacity. And I keep getting requests from people asking if I've opened up any spots and if I can come in as their right-hand person. And so I'm actually looking and shifting in my own business model, and I'm opening up 3 spaces to come in as the right hand to a scaling business who's making at least 500,000 a year, ideally 1 million or more, so that we can go in and look at all of their place for operational efficiencies. We can systematize and streamline what they're doing. My team and I are going to be implementing AI into their businesses. And we're taking on a lot of the done for you work for them, not just the strategic advisory, which I still do, but we're actually taking on a lot of the done for you work too, because that's very much what people are asking for right now. At this time of the year, I'm normally ramping up for the next cohort of Simplify to Scale. I'm just getting ready to wrap up my current active cohorts. So now is when I would normally be selling Simplify to Scale. And I looked at it and I looked at what people were asking for. And I decided that I am going to really focus in on my fractional services, because that is what I see businesses need most right now. At least the businesses that I work with and serve. So if you think about in your business, is there something that your clients are asking for a lot, like people reaching out to me and asking when I'm going to have spaces again to be their right hand? Or is there feedback that you're getting from people? Are you hearing, it's a really great program. I wish I had time to do more with it. Or I really wish I could make the call, but I just had another person quit or another client decide to leave, and I just can't do it. I've got to use that time for something else. Pay attention to what's going on with your own clients, and pay attention to what's going on with your target market, and look at any pivots and any changes that you might need to make. And if you are someone who has been interested in having me come in and work alongside you in your business as your fractional right-hand person, I am going to be opening up 3 spaces this fall. So please do go ahead and put some time on my calendar at leanoutmethod.com/consult. And let's chat about what that might look like and if it would be a good fit for you to have me by your side as your partner in scaling your business, and have my team support you in developing your systems, implementing AI, and really running your operations for you. So I hope you found a lot of value in this episode, and it's helping you think through how you can really help your clients get incredible results, which is not only going to help them, but will also help you with retention and referrals going forward, and keep your business sustainable, and hopefully help you continue to work smarter and not harder. I will see you again next week. Thanks so much for tuning in to this week's episode. If you have not yet taken our scalability assessment, I invite you to head to leanoutmethod.com/assessment and take our interactive assessment that's going to help you look at how simple, how sustainable, and how scalable your business currently is. It includes personalized recommendations of where to focus next to get your time back, to increase your impact, increase your profits, and ultimately step into your rich, fulfilled life. And finally, we'd love to see you inside our signature program, Simplify to Scale. You can head to leanoutmethod.com/ops to find all of the details on how we can help you uplevel your operations and get out of the day-to-day of your business.